Hey folks, this is Morgan coming at you. I wanted to talk about something in the electric bike community that's on my mind these days. That's kind of disturbing to me because I'm a huge electric bike enthusiast. I've been riding electric bikes since 1994. I've tried many different kinds, and I even was so enthusiastic that a couple years ago I took the radical step of actually opening a shop to sell the electric kits. And it was a big step, very financially taxing, very taxing on my time because I have another full-time job. And so far I don't make really any money off the electric bike stuff. It's more like a hobby that consumes a whole bunch of my time because I really want to get the word out. But one of the things that I've noticed throughout my time working with and being a user of electric bikes, which I still use one almost every day now, is that throughout the time I've been using them, new products have come out all the time, one after another. People always have great ideas, and then they push these products out into the marketplace. And, the initial versions of the products are often just, to be frank, are crap. Basically, they push products out that haven't had real-world testing, that have a number of flaws. And one of the things about these electric bikes is that, it's one thing to test in a laboratory, but a laboratory has a great deal of difficulty simulating real-world conditions of, being out on the road every day, dealing with hills, dealing with hot weather, dealing with wet weather, dealing with, sudden stops, sudden starts, all the stuff that happens in the real world. It's very hard to simulate that. And besides that fact, most of the manufacturers I know of don't simulate anything. They just build something and send it out, and maybe they test it on one of their own bikes for a short while, but then they send it out as a product and sell it. Here's an example, and this is not to pick on any particular manufacturer because this is really, true almost industry-wide. There are only a few I know of who are more cautious. And that is, so there's a new BMC motor out that's, if you go over to the forums at Endless Sphere, which is one of the places where electric bike enthusiasts hang out, you'll see a discussion of the new BMC motor, the 1,000-watt motor. So I like BMC motors, and we sell BMC motors through my shop at Cycle 9, but every time a new motor comes out from them or from anybody else we've worked with, there are always glitches. And it's become clear to me that there's very little testing that goes into these before people start selling them to consumers. I think for the consumer that's terrible. I think that consumers deserve more than that. They deserve to be able to get a product that will work out of the box. And dealers do too. For us it's a huge pain as a dealer because we get new stuff in from whatever company. It's not just BMC. We get new stuff in, and then we can either start pushing it out and trying to make some profit on it, or we can sit there and hold back and test it a bunch, which is what we do, but that costs us a tremendous amount of money because all the other people are out there selling the product already. And so we've got this difficult choice of okay, do we sell this thing and miss out on all these initial sales from the early adopters, or do you just hold back and then make sure in the long run that this is going to work before we sell it? And even if we do hold back and do a bunch of testing on our own, sometimes still things don't work out once we start selling them. It's a bad situation for everybody in the e-bike market. Things that are new products that haven't been tested should be sold as beta products. That's the way it works in the software industry. When you go buy a piece of software, unless it's from maybe Microsoft or something, when you go buy a piece of software, that hasn't been vetted, that hasn't been tested, it's labeled beta software. It's called beta, and you know that when you buy it. And anybody that you buy software from that sells beta software that's not labeled as a beta, you're not going to buy from that company again. People get angry at that stuff. And people should be getting angry at this in the e-bike community too. And so, maybe more than anything, this, number one, I'd really like to see more caution from the dealers on this particular subject. You guys shouldn't be pushing stuff out there that hasn't been tested, hasn't been thoroughly vetted. And, you know, I would also like to see more pressure from consumers to really push on the dealers and manufacturers to say, you know, look, you guys need to do some testing before you just send these things out and start selling them as the latest, greatest thing with no real testing. So, you know, so in any case, I mean, in my own situation, like with the newest, latest, greatest motors from 9 Continents and from BMC, we're actually holding off. I mean, we got a shipment of 9 Continent motors in that have all sorts of problems. And, you know, we haven't sold a single one of that shipment for almost 2 months. And that's because we're still trying to work through the problems with this shipment of stuff that came in. So the problem is really endemic, and electric bikes are just not going to become a more widespread phenomenon until we really start dealing with this as a community. So anyway, I got that off my mind, and I hope you keep enjoying your biking and have fun. See you later.